Welcome. What I would like to do, and I'm going to stop sharing my screen here in a second, just so we can see each other. We only have 16 people on here, so I want to take a second and just very briefly, if you can say your name, and then, one thing that interests you about the Stakeholder Strategy Interest Group, why you're doing stakeholder research, and this sort of as a help, especially to some of the new people in the room who haven't been in this community as long to get to know each other. And then when you've done that, just quickly just call on someone else that you can see, and I'll try and track to get through everyone. So give you an example how quick we're going to go. I'm going to introduce myself. So I'm Mark Desjardins. I'm at Dartmouth, and part of my research that really interests me on stakeholders is how tensions between shareholders and stakeholders around financial and non-financial interests. So I am going to call on John Bundy.
Hi, everyone. Good to see you. John Bundy here from Arizona State University, longtime member of the Stakeholder Strategy Interest Group. Most of my current research on stakeholder topics kind of focuses on maybe the how question, how we can better manage for stakeholders and coordinate interest, things like that. Still do a little bit of research on kind of crises and wrongdoing and those areas as well. So I will just go next to Ishva.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ishva. I go by Ish. I'm at the University of Illinois. It's a pleasure to be a part of this IG. Just thinking about stakeholder interest on my end, a couple of projects I have working on and going on right now are focused on firms' interactions with armed groups. And so I like to look at stakeholders that we often don't talk about enough, particularly in my context in conflict zones. So just fun to get into those dynamics when thinking about stakeholders. And so I will go to Mark. Jake Mark, yeah.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mark, a late-stage PhD researcher from the University of Mannheim in Germany. And what fascinates me about stakeholder strategy research is how powerful stakeholders are. And specifically, I look at how strategic communication can shape fruitful relationships between firms and their stakeholders. And with this, I hand it over to Olga.
Hi, I'm Olga Hon, also a longtime member of this IG. Great to see everybody. I guess my current interests are about stakeholder alignment. So when do different stakeholders align, especially as we look at, into their reactions to different company actions in this realm. And next, I'm going to go to Haram.
Hi, everyone. I'm Haram, currently at Texas A&M University. I'm currently a second-year reps at large at Stakeholder IG. And in terms of my research interests, I'm mostly looking into how a lot of the CSR stuff that firms do supposedly to serve stakeholders oftentimes fail to serve stakeholder interests truly. So that's what I mostly look at. Next, Leo.
Yeah, I think I have a digital twin because I have no idea how I am twice in the meeting, but maybe because I shared the link, I think it's personal. Anyway, I hope it's not any problem. I'm Leo Pondilup at Wharton, assistant professor. I am a first year in this IG, and I feel very much like this is my part of my academic home. My interest on stakeholders is basically trying to understand how organizations, public, non-profit, and private or for-profit, can manage their stakeholders to affect the UN SDGs in three main areas: poverty, inequality, climate change, and healthcare management. And I go to Aline.
Hi, everyone. I'm Aline Gatignol, assistant professor at Wharton. I'm a second year rep at large for the IG. My interest in stakeholders has to do with cross-sector partnerships and how firms, nonprofits, governments, and other stakeholders can work together to address social issues of mutual interest, particularly in emerging markets. I'll turn it over to Leandro.
Hi, everyone. I'm Leandro. I'm currently at IG&C Paris. I'm just joined last year as an assistant professor. I am also first year rep at large in this IG, and like you, this feels really like home to me as well. So my research is broadly about the intersection of strategy and social impact, meaning how firms might affect the interests of especially vulnerable stakeholders, but also stakeholders that are often left, behind or are often not considered as, key firm stakeholders. And I'll hand over to Tomás.
I knew that. So I'm closing the Brazilian trio here. I'm Tomás. I'm an assistant professor at Copenhagen Business School. I mean, Aline is the fourth, but Aline is the Brazilian as well. So I'm assistant professor at Copenhagen Business School. I am nothing to the AG beyond an interested member, so no position. My interest in stakeholder comes from my broad interest in how organizations can nurture human development, both in terms of skill development and in terms of relationship building. And I'm interested in how organizations can essentially gain competitive advantage while nurturing their employees, their contractors, and even their customers. So to foster this research agenda, I need to broaden the perspective from strategy, from going beyond the firm and encompassing these individual stakeholders. So I would call Tim Werner.
Everyone, for reasons unknown to me, my camera isn't working this morning. I'm Tim Werner from UT Austin. I think most of you I've actually met in person, so it's no big loss, I guess, that my camera isn't working. Anyway, my main interest is in kind of the risk and reward to firms for engagement with political stakeholders. So I will pass things along then to Don.
Hi, everybody. I guess I've been involved with the IG for a long time now, and it's been kind of fun to see how the rest of SMS is adopting more and more of a stakeholder perspective. And I feel like I'm in a lonely fight against the people who are calling it new stakeholder theory, because it's what we're observing, I think, is new strategy theory, where the strategy people are adopting a stakeholder perspective. So anyway, that's my thing lately. Who haven't we heard from?
Sarah and Push.
Sarah, are you there? There you are.
Hey, yep, I'm here. Thanks. I'm Sarah Diaz Rivera. I am new to the group here. I'm a second-year strategy student at the University of Georgia, and my interests in stakeholders primarily, I'm interested in them as primarily as they relate to social evaluations such as firm reputation. And I think I will hand it off to Pushpika now.
Hi, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, okay. I am Pushpika Vishwanathan, assistant professor at the University of Amsterdam. I'm one of the few people calling in from Europe, I think. So it's 5 o'clock and I just picked up my son from daycare and I want to walk. My research is on stakeholder governance, corporate purpose, and corporate social responsibility and financial performance. And I'm rep at large for the first year with the two Leandros. And it's great to be part of this team.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. I think we covered it. So thanks for taking the time to do that. I will share my screen and then we'll just motor on. It is great to see actually a couple comments there, Don, about your comment and the mission of our group and how stakeholder strategy or mainstream strategy is changing. That's part of the mission of this group. So obviously we're having influence. And then seeing some new faces in the room. Some of our reps at large put together a nice graph to show our growth. So we're doing well as an IG, but we'll get into that in just a second. So like I said, we're a small group. And we want to be a stronger group every time. So if you have any feedback, just jump in, okay? Any comments, any questions, this is a chance to interact. As a leadership team, we're going to give you an overview of what we've been doing, what we've been planning, but a lot of you have a lot more, or some of you, a lot more experience than anyone on our team. So I jump in if anything comes to mind. So just quickly, I'm going to go through history and the leadership, and then we'll get into the annual conference. And Georg can't be here, so Ish is going to cover his slides for the program and the conference, and then we will announce some words and wrap up. So I promise that we'll be done here in under the next 30 minutes. So quick history, as I was saying there, given Don's comment, this IG, the goal is to promote a scholarship that embraces a multi-stakeholder perspective of firm strategy, its antecedents, boundaries, roles, values, and impact and performance. And so as we see stakeholder strategy sort of go through different groups, obviously I think we're fulfilling that mission to some extent. Okay, so we basically the 4 or 5 bullet points within that all sort of talk about encouraging, promoting this type of research, and then influencing practice, and then, like we've done here, try to collaborate, build community. So here we go. Innovation at its finest. As I've been involved with this IG for the last 5 years, we've always showed this in table format, but like I said, some of our reps at large, thank you especially to the Leandro crew, that we have been growing healthily. So if you look back at 2015, we had the lowest amount of submissions, and then we have been a group that's roughly doubled over that time. Some other groups, obviously, they've been flat or declined. Some others, there's been growth, but we've been very, very healthy, fortunately. Even as what we're seeing, other IGs sort of come in and talk more about stakeholders and want to collaborate on different sessions. We're seeing stakeholder research in these different IGs. Even as a core group, we're pretty healthy with 8% year-over-year growth. So our leadership team, some of us just introduced ourselves. So Vidya couldn't be here, and Georg couldn't be here, but this is what the next few years look like. So we will talk about nominations, but if you know anyone, then please, 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 pass this along to them, that the IG is better, this whole community is better with, more people, different people in leadership, and the SMS has some new positions. So we're looking for that. So next year, this fall, we need elections we will have elections for nominees of the associate program chair. So that's a 3-year position that evolves into program chair and then chair, and then three new reps at large for a 2-year term. So like I said, even if you yourself are interested, please let us know, and we'll get your name on the ballot. Or if you know someone else, then pass this along to them, please. So the annual conference is coming up here, and I am going to pass it off to Ish.
Thanks, Mark. I think we had a number of great submissions this year. Thinking about the past few years, although we had a slight dip in the number relative to Toronto last year, I think it's still very high in comparison to previous years. So as you see, 116 submissions. SMS pretty much determines the number of submissions that we can accept, so particularly based upon slots. So as you see, we accepted 65 of them, one of which was a panel, and that rate is pretty consistent over the past 2 years. I just want to say for this third bullet point, thank you to everyone on the call for being a reviewer, and definitely even at the end, once we had a push, we had emergency reviewers, and several individuals on this call stepped up. So I very much appreciate that. In total, we had 77 reviewers for our IG. Each submission had 2 reviewers, and most folks reviewed 2 to 4 submissions. And this was in addition to others that they were doing for the entire conference. So again, I think we thank you for your service in that regard. Again, as I mentioned, thinking about these last 2 bullet points, SMS determines our number of slots. And just like last year, where we had 15 sessions, this year we also had 15 sessions, 8 of which are paper, the competitive sessions, 6 of which common ground, and then 1 panel. And I also want to thank, I know a couple of folks on this call are serving as the discussants for a number of these sessions. So I want to thank you all as well for that. But I think we have a really interesting program for the sessions, definitely Monday and Tuesday.
Oh, thanks, Ish.
Mm-hmm.
Does that cover it for you?
Yes. And
then we'll come back to you for Georg's part. Okay. Leandro Push, do you want to do this for us?
Yes, happy to tune in, and Leandro and Push, please feel free to interrupt me. So we are organizing, following the tradition of the division, we are organizing PDW at SMS. It's going to happen on Saturday 19. We got a good number of this is, by the way, like his organizing partnership with 3 other IGs, so it has been like a kind of massive effort, and I must say, just for the records, that definitely the stakeholder IG, in other words, Leandro, Push, and myself, are really the ones like kind of carrying the heavy load. To be honest, I think like the others are IG are a little bit riding on us on this, but that said, like we had a great number of submissions of proposals. I don't remember the exact number, but we have, I think, more than 50 submissions of proposals. We performed a two people rating of those proposals, and then we extend invitations to 24 people. The majority of them already confirmed, so we are very excited to have them. We have a panel to start with Andrea, Heinrich, Olga, Vit, and Violina. And then after that, we're going to have a 101 or 1 to 2 people discussing the proposals. And we're going to, of course, ask people to read each other's proposals and contribute to their development. So looking forward to meeting all the people there at SMS.
Thank you, Leo, and thanks to each of you. I have to ask, was it a requirement to be a discussant that your name had to start with an S or an M? I don't know if you noticed that, if you look at those names. So, all right, nicely done. So I'm looking forward to that. Thank you, team, for putting that together. Ish, we're back to you.
Yeah, thanks for this. So I definitely want to thank Georg. I know he's not here, and the team for putting this together. I think we have 3 really interesting panels on that Sunday program. So,
and Ish, sorry, I edited the slide. I have to jump in. The 3rd one is on the next slide, just so you know. It didn't go missing.
Okay. I also noticed, I don't know if you made an edit for particularly. Oh, I see it now. Okay. So with regards to our first session, I think a very important topic, socio-political issues. I think several of us on this call do work in this area, and definitely thinking about that intersection with leaders and CEOs. So I think we have a very interesting panel in this regard, particularly for our 3rd session of the day. It'll be at 11:15. This co-sponsored session with regards to strategy process and the knowledge and innovation IG. I think looking at creativity and innovation and experimentation is something that has been increasing in research within stakeholder strategy. And so I think we have a number of panelists, as you see listed here. And then if Mark wants to go to the 3rd one, I think we have a really interesting debate that is being set up. We talk about these different non-market strategies at CSR, CPA, particularly in an international context. And so I think this organizational setup will be very interesting. And I think we will have a number of individuals seeking to attend. And I believe there will be some openness for the Q&A and just like responses to individuals in the for and against motion with regards to should firms devote significant resources to these types of strategies. And I think this also ties back to the first session, thinking about socio-political issues. So I imagine these conversations will flow throughout the day.
Thanks, Ish. Yeah, those are 3 strong sessions, and thanks to her, Lean and Vidya for the support there, obviously. So if you can try and attend those, if you'll be at SMS, of course, lots of organization and effort put into those. So with that, Ish, is this on YouTube?
Yep. And so SMS has told us when the conference will be and where it'll be. It'll be in San Francisco next year, October 11th through the 14th. They haven't given us the theme just yet. I'm sure that is to come over the next couple of months, but we would definitely encourage everyone who's on this call and others to attend. And I imagine very similar to this year, if you are attending, it's going to be a great time.
Yeah, thank you. So October 11th to 14th. With that, let's do some awards. So Aline or Harm, do you want to handle these?
Yes, happy to. Haran, unless you want to jump in. Okay. So we're very excited to, first of all, announce the best proposal. Mark, I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about the process first, or
Sure. I mean, that's probably best for Ish, because you
for
were
Ish. Yeah.
he was in charge of the competitive program this year. So
Yep, absolutely. So again, we had 66 papers that were accepted, 65 papers that were accepted, and there were a number of reviewers who suggested which proposal should win awards. And I think this was tied very much to the highest rated proposals. There were the two categories, originality and like contribution to the field. And the awards that you will see that are coming up, all of these were rated among the reviewers with above a 4.0 score out of 5. And again, they all were recommended to be given an award. And so we can go through them if we so choose. And so with regards to the first one, this was actually the highest rated proposal among all 60, well, really all 116, but definitely the 66 that were accepted. And so who takes the seat, how simultaneous identity movements shape for diversity. Just a very strong contribution thinking about the intersection of the BLM movement with the women's rights movement. So.
And I was thinking, I mean, in terms of your position, Ish, I guess it makes sense to cover this. Aline, sorry to call you around, but Ish, you know the proposals closest, just given how the management works behind the scenes. So sure, we'll let you keep going. Thank you, Aline, for stepping in.
And so there were, I guess I'll just jump in.
Just keep going.
So Bo Yang, congrats to Bo. Cloaked opposition, firms partisan identity, and the visibility of corporate political activities. Again, thinking about the recommendations from the reviewers, there were 5 papers that had a student, that were led by a student, and they got a very strong recommendation. This was a very interesting contribution, and this was the only one of the 5 where it was a sole authored. And so although they were close, I think we went with this one for Bo Yang, so for the best PhD student proposal. And then lastly, best proposal with practical implications goes to Nicole West at UT Dallas and David Tan at Johns Hopkins University, with a grain of salt, industry-affiliated organizations offering scientific expertise to inform regulation. This, I believe, one of our reviewers was on this call. Actually, this one, for both reviewers, received recommendation for responsible research. And so going through those proposals with those recommendations, this was very clear that it had practical implications. And I know our reviewers on this call could definitely speak to that. So congrats to Nicole and David, and definitely congrats to all of the awardees. And lastly, outstanding reviewers. So I definitely went through all of the reviews. And so I think we had over 200 reviews in total, 232 to be exact. And the best reviewers are listed here: Daniel Gamache, hopefully I'm not mispronouncing any names, Tony He, Allison Holm, Ivana Katic, Abi Oliver, Cole Short, J.W. Stolhurst. Just going through all of the reviews, it's just very clear that each of these individuals gave 4 to 5 strong, significant comments per proposal, and really emphasizing, one, the good things, the good aspects of each proposal, but also how each proposal could improve. And it's just very clear that these, all of the reviewers, I'm very thankful for them to have stepped up. It's very clear among these individuals here, among others on the call today, had really good feedback for the individuals who submitted their proposals to this conference and to our IG. So I want to thank these individuals. And as far as the certificates go, these will be given digitally by SMS, I'm assuming over the next month or so, for both the outstanding reviewers as well as the awardees.
Yeah, thank you, Ish. And I mean, thanks for managing this, which is for you in the terms of the 3-year term is a big the biggest load. And so thanks to everyone to sort of who helped on the review side, many of you in this room, and then congratulations to everyone again. It's good. It's a fun process to do. So socials. Aline, this is probably where you're better to step in, right?
Yep. So
Thank you.
this is our last slide, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're organizing this exciting socialist event, which is boat cruise in Istanbul. So it's gonna be really cool. It's gonna be at a nighttime, so we get to see sunset from the boat. So it's gonna be amazing. It's co-hosted with multiple other IGs. So it was again another kind of massive collaboration effort. And a couple of things are included with $25. It's gonna be a really affordable but amazing experience. Like you get to have drinks and also some small dishes as well. And I forgot to include a link for this, so I'm gonna just pop this in the chat so that if you're interested, you can register. The seats are limited at this price point, so if you're interested, make sure to do that at ASAP. That'll be all.
Amazing. For $25, you just got to get your airfare to get there and pay the SMS conference fee. But $25 for 2 hours on a boat with food, you got to take that. Thank you, Herm. Thank you, Aline, for helping organize the socials. Thank you, everyone, for that. Thanks for being here and spending time to cover this. I want to just take a second and open up the floor if anyone has comments, questions, feedback you want to give our team for this year or for the next year. This meeting's already been a success because, Tomas, I hope you don't mind me saying this, you've already agreed to run for rep at large. So we got one more there. Thank you so much. But I just want to open the floor before we end. Does anyone have anything they want to say?
Just a big thanks to Mark and the team for doing all the hard work. I've been there, I know how much it is, so thank you guys.
Thanks, John. Appreciate that. Yeah, it does take a team effort. So, all right. Well, with that, we are efficient. So 30 minutes. Thank you again for being here. We will, see you in Istanbul and take care, everyone. Thank you.